Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Part 2 of the Kishimoto and Ikemoto interview about the Boruto manga just dropped, so we're gonna go ahead and hop in and check it out. If you guys aren't caught up to speed, go ahead and check out my last video where we covered part 1 of their interview. I guess part 2 actually happened live, whereas my previous video was over a pre-recorded interview, I guess, where there were pre-written questions that they answered, but these they actually answered on a stage, and if we pull up some images here, we can see this is what the conference looked like. And I think right here we've got Kishimoto and Ikemoto on stage with some cool art they drew. And yeah, I guess they just answered questions live, so without further ado, let's hop right in. First question was, how do you work together? Their answer was, for Naruto and Boruto, the way we work is different. Kishimoto created the story, and Ikemoto drew the backgrounds. But for Boruto, Ikemoto is the one in charge of the manga. It's his manga. Interesting. I think we kind of already knew that. Ikemoto is pretty much mostly in charge of everything, while Kishimoto kind of supervises and checks in once a month to see how the story is going, and Kishimoto wrote the general outline of the story and knows how it ends. But Ikemoto is the mangaka and for the most part has full control of everything going on. Next question. What do you love or hate about drawing as a draftsman? Kishimoto said, I love drawing female characters and backgrounds. Interesting. Yeah, Kishimoto definitely has some banger-ass background panels. You can tell he likes doing that. Ikemoto's response was, I like drawing female characters, but I hate drawing clones. Which is funny because I think that was his role in the Naruto manga as an assistant to Kishimoto. He drew the backgrounds and he drew the clones. He must have hated that job because he's saying it right here, he hates drawing clones and he didn't specify that he likes drawing backgrounds, which was also his role in Naruto. Next question. Would you agree to draw something for us? A drawing of Boruto to Blue Vortex for Ikemoto, and a drawing of Naruto small for Kishimoto. Guess that's the answer. Oh, yeah, that's what I showed here. So I guess someone asked that and they just straight up drew it on stage. That's pretty cool. Alright, next question. How do you feel about the longevity of the Naruto universe after so many years? Kishimoto responds, I'm really happy. It's been 10 years since the series ended, and I'm very touched to see all the fans and the warm reactions. It's a lot of recognition. Thank you very much. Shout out my GOAT Kishimoto. That just makes me smile. I'm glad he likes how dedicated the fan base is after literally a decade past Naruto's conclusion. Alright, next question. Was there a moment when you realized that your hero was just a milestone in the universe you were creating? Kishimoto said, at the beginning, I didn't think the series would last so long. I didn't think it would be so successful. There are times when things aren't going so well, but I don't let myself get too euphoric or too sad. I try to maintain a stable and regular state of mind. He's talking about Naruto here, not Boruto. I don't fully understand the question when you realized your hero was just a milestone in the universe you were creating. Maybe that might be a mistranslation or I'm not understanding something, but yeah, he's just talking about how he didn't realize Naruto would be so successful. Ikemoto was influenced by kung fu movies when he was young. That's pretty sick, dude. Like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. Oh yeah, it even says here, he also cites The Matrix as a major inspiration, which was itself influenced by Jackie Chan. That's sick. I think more than anything, there's a lot of Dragon Ball influence and inspiration in Boruto, but I can totally see where like martial arts and kung fu movies come into play here. And again, I think same thing can be said. Dragon Ball is inspired by kung fu movies, so it's all tied together, it's all connected. I mean, the whole concept of taijutsu and like cool hand-to-hand combat is really what drew me into Naruto so much in the beginning, and I'm glad it still plays a major role in the story even now when everyone has like galactic abilities. The fact that even two godlike overpowered characters can just go head to head and throw some hands is what I love so much about this story. About a lancing choreography and character design. Ikemoto says that designing choreography and costumes for Boruto is not as difficult as it might seem. He emphasizes the importance of character design, stating that he imagines the character's personality before designing their clothing, and he believes that clothing is an important aspect of a character's design as it reflects the character's personality. He kind of touched on this in the last interview as well, mentioning like Ada and Kawaki and how they dress a certain way based on their personality, and he kind of envisions what that character is going to act like and then dresses them appropriately, which makes sense. We know Boruto, of course, dresses like Sasuke and is kind of emo because that's the way his personality is and he wants to honor his master. Sarada dresses with an oversized jacket because she wants to have it as a memoriam to Boruto after he left the village because it's the brand that he liked to shop at, I guess. So yeah, kind of touching on the last interview again, but it's cool to hear Ikemoto's internal thought process when designing characters. A lot of people don't like Ikemoto's character designs, and I, for the most part, really do like them. I think he does a pretty fantastic job. A few times he misses here and there, but for the most part, he's banger when it comes to character designs. Alright, next question. Have you become less forgiving of villains villains in Boruto compared to Naruto? Now, this is an interesting question because I think there's a clear difference between the way villains are treated in Boruto compared to how they were treated in Naruto. Boruto villains, much to my dislike, I think, don't have the same depth and humanity that the villains in Naruto did. In Boruto, they're just kind of evil and villainous, and they just kind of cause havoc because they're villains. Whereas in Naruto, they're usually fallen heroes who are just misunderstood and are a product of a bad environment they were put in, which is my favorite character archetype, and I really wish we had more of that in Boruto. So let's see what they say here. Ikemoto says, in Naruto, villains had objectives and reasons to oppose the protagonist. Kishimoto did everything he wanted to do in terms of combat. Ikemoto wanted to create different types of villains in Boruto. Okay, so Ikemoto was making it clear that he wanted to be different. He prioritized irrationality in the villains. He wanted to create a difference compared to the villains in Naruto. Okay, that's fair. I understand that he wants to create a clear separation between Naruto and Boruto, but I really liked the Naruto villains, and I wished we kept that personality, I guess. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Kishimoto's response was, in Naruto, Kishimoto took the good side. The remaining part for Ikemoto is much more difficult. So Kishimoto just asks for support for Ikemoto. So yeah, even Kishimoto says that, yeah, he's acknowledging he took the good side in many of the villains, and Ikemoto kind of has it more difficult now because he's trying to make the villains different. Like I said, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but that's okay. If that's what they want to do, that makes sense. I just kind of wish we had more villains like Itachi and Pain and Obito. I mean, Code has potential to go down that route. And again, I guess it's kind of hard to give human characteristics to an alien race like Otsutsuki. So what Kishimoto's saying here is that Ikemoto has a more difficult job. It's true. He's dealing with a different race of villains entirely, a different species. Next question. Between the publication of Naruto and Boruto, have the expectations for shonen manga changed? Have the standards changed? Kishimoto responds, personally, I think the essence of what makes a good shonen hasn't changed. True, I agree. Of course, there are several important things in shonen. What's important is that the author must make their experiences correspond with their characters. They must imagine that their characters are real. That's indispensable for me to create a good shonen. For me, this hasn't changed between today and before. Dude, he's spittin'. Just treat them like real characters. Ikemoto responded, I completely agree with Master Kishimoto. Adding something, the characters fight the enemy. I think the enemy should be just as strong as the main character. I mean, true, but that's funny coming from you, Ikemoto, when you had Boruto absolutely dog walk Code in the first chapter. Maybe this is in reference to Jura. I think Jura is really the only character who's on par with Boruto right now. Maybe this is a sign for more stronger characters to come. Who knows? Next question. Is Naruto a work that promotes the idea that villains are not inherently evil? This kind of touches back on what I meant previously in a couple questions ago. Kishimoto says, I believe everyone is good at heart, but that their environment and experiences can change them. It's difficult to define what is good or evil, and that it's the people around them who guide young people. Exactly, that's what I meant. Naruto is a work full of master-student relationships and leaves it up to the reader to judge. I like that. Wow, okay, so Kishimoto is basically saying, it's up to you to judge who was right in every scenario. Maybe Pain was right all along, or maybe Madara was right all along. That's kind of crazy to think about. You'd think Kishimoto would be like, oh no, Naruto was always right. Our main character was right and all the villains were wrong, for killing people, but he's like, no, it's up to you to judge. Maybe they are right. You can never really define who's good or evil. I agree with him. Once again, Kishimoto's spitting. Oh, he goes on. The beginning of Naruto often emphasized merit and effort. Think of Guy, Naruto, or Lee. But in the end, one realizes that Naruto is a kind of chosen one from a lineage of ninja. It's a very difficult question that's very important. At the beginning, I drew while thinking that Naruto was from a lower social class. I thought he resembled me, I had the desire to be admired, but I put everything I had in me into Naruto. I wanted to be recognized by everyone, just like Naruto. Wow, that's cool. Gradually, people began to recognize my value, my art, my desire for recognition had been fulfilled. I was satisfied. He's drawing parallels between him and Naruto. That's so cool. Just like Naruto, he kind of started from the bottom and worked his way up as his manga and his art improved and he gained more recognition. Just like Naruto started from the bottom, and as he defeated villains and protected Konoha, he gradually became more and more recognized for, his power and dedication. The problem was whether I could continue to draw Naruto. One can have great pressure, and I decided to draw for Naruto. I will draw this answer in manga one day, Be patient. What? Is this a hint at a new manga? Wait a second. Now, what question is he talking about? He said, okay, so up here he mentions it's a very difficult question that's very important. And he's referencing, I guess, the fact that Naruto started off emphasizing, effort and merit, and then kind of changed into more of a fate story where Naruto was the chosen one. I think that's the question he's talking about. And maybe parallels between him and Naruto. Is Kishimoto the chosen one? Was it his fate to write Naruto, or was it the fact that he just put in the effort and grinded that brought him to where he is? I think that's the question he's trying to answer, and he claims he's going to answer it in a manga one day. That's okay, we're going to get a new Kishimoto manga. I actually never read Samurai 8, and I actually really want to make a video on it at some point. I think that'd be pretty sick. But I am all in for a new Kishimoto manga. Bring my boy out of retirement. Let's see what he's cooking, dude. That got me so excited. Wait. I mean, this isn't like set in stone. Nothing's confirmed, but that is pretty sick that he says he'll answer it one day in a manga. Hell, maybe he's referencing Boruto. Oh wow, he's still answering this question. Kishimoto mentions that the most difficult part was the conflict between Pain and Naruto, as both characters had valid arguments. He expresses doubts about who was right, but ultimately finds satisfaction in the ending of Naruto and Sasuke's story. This goes back to my point earlier, or Kishimoto's point earlier even. He didn't know who was right or wrong, who's good or evil, who had the best argument. He doesn't know. He wrote both characters, and it's just up for us to determine who was right. Honestly, I think Pain had a point, as most of us probably agree, but he just went about it in the wrong way. That's all I'll say. There was no need for bloodshed. Ikemoto highlights the challenges in developing Boruto's character. Unlike Naruto, Boruto already has everything he desires, and lacks a clear goal. That's a huge issue I noticed at the beginning. And really what Chapter 79 fixed with Boruto was the fact that he, as a main character, lacked like an overall goal. Like, it just seemed like he was there to just kind of react to the events or the situations he was put in without striving for anything on his own. Naruto wants to become Hokage. Luffy wants to become the Pirate King. Boruto doesn't really want to do anything. What does Boruto want? I guess he just wants to chill? I don't know. He didn't really strive for anything, and it wasn't until everything was taken away from him that he now has a very clear goal. That's what I love so much about the plot twist in Chapter 79. It gave Boruto drive and motivation and like a clear goal that a main character should have. Let's continue. To make him more interesting, Ikemoto introduced Kawaki, who initially played a more prominent role but has now taken a back seat. Oh, so there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I thought Kodachi created Kawaki, but it sounds like Ikemoto introduced him. Also, they're claiming that Kawaki's introduction was necessary because Boruto lacked a clear goal. And to that, I agree. I think Kawaki helped push the story forward more, almost as a secondary main character that kind of took the spotlight for a while because Kawaki had clear goals and clear development that he needed to achieve, and Boruto just kind of helped him along in that path. And it wasn't until Kawaki turned on him that things really flipped for Boruto. And they're also acknowledging that Kawaki's taken a back seat, which is true. The dude has been taking L after L in the manga and just doing basically nothing. But if you guys watched the last video, you'll know that they mentioned that Kawaki has a lot more room to improve and basically blatantly laid out that Kawaki's gonna have a lot more character development, so looking forward to that one. Alright, and the final question. Mr. Kishimoto, your first fans now have children. You have become a Hokage of manga. I love that. Hokage of manga. What is your new dream now? Kishimoto responded, it's a difficult question. I think I have a goal, but the most important thing is to spend time with my family. I love the moments with fans. I want to have a little more. I think that in these moments, I find motivation and will for a new work. This is the second time he's mentioned a new work. First, he hinted at like answering the question between fate and effort in a new work, and now again he's mentioning that, you know, I guess showing up to events like this and meeting fans and getting to talk to people gives him motivation to write a new work. Man, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but that's 2 references now he's made at a new manga. Kind of exciting, we'll see. Ikemoto then responds, in order to continue Boruto, Naruto has such an important presence that Boruto is finally able to be a main character. Will he be able to equal Naruto? It all depends on you, the readers. I count on you for the sequel. That was a good interview. That's the last question. So Ikemoto is totally calling out here that he acknowledged Naruto had such an important presence that it was kind of difficult for Boruto to really take the spotlight. I think as far as Blue Vortex is concerned, Boruto has done that. Well, it took a little bit of plot twist to lock Naruto away to give Boruto that full spotlight, but I feel like the torch has finally been passed on and Boruto has become like the main important presence in the franchise. Will he be able to equal Naruto? it depends on you, the readers. I count on you for the sequel. As much as I'd love Boruto to equal Naruto, I think that's a tall task to accomplish, and that is not at all a knock to Boruto. I absolutely love Boruto, but Naruto as a character is just like untouchable, I think. I know there's a lot of Boruto fans or stans who claim Boruto surpassed Naruto ages ago. I can't see it. If you watched all 700 episodes of Naruto, or, skipped filler like me, he just went through such an incredible journey, and Boruto's only like partway through his journey. He hasn't done anything yet to really put him all the way up there with Naruto. That being said, Boruto is a great character, and I love the way the manga's heading, so who knows? Maybe one day he'll reach there. As Ikemoto said, it's all counting on us, the readers, to, I guess, give the support, keep reading the manga, keep buying the volumes to push it along and see where it ends up. So, yeah. That's about it. Awesome interview. Honestly, the previous interview had more like bombshells related to the manga of Boruto, but my main takeaway from this interview is that Kishimoto and Ikemoto are pretty damn committed to Boruto. Kishimoto hinted at a new manga, and Ikemoto gave us a little more insight in how his thought process is for creating different characters and how he writes the story. And Kishimoto also gave us like a whole spiel on, I guess, more so the Naruto manga and how he kind of battled with certain story elements as well as just the longevity of the manga, and finds the will to keep going with cool events like this. So shout out, honestly, I don't know what venue is doing this. I don't know who set this up, but shout out whomever. Maybe I'll figure it out and put it in a subtitle here. In France for putting this all together, and shout out the goats for attending and answering our questions. Shout out you guys for watching the video, and yeah, smash the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, boys.